Welcome to the webinar for the 2019-2020 COLA Master Fellowship Program offered through the City of Los Angeles Department of Cultural Affairs. My name is Christopher Riedesel, a Grants Associate, and along with me will be my colleague Alma Guzman, our other Grants Associate. Today's webinar will be conducted in two sections. The first section will be an overview of the COLA Master Fellowship Program. Then the second section will be a review of the application form itself. So without any further ado, we'll start off with my colleague Alma, who will be talking about the overview of the program.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today, and thank you so much for your interest in the COLA Fellowship Program. So we're not going to waste any time, we're going to jump right into this. So what is the COLA Fellowship Program? Well, the purpose of the fellowship program is to honor the city's most creative artists and the work that they do and share with the public. The award amount is $10,000 and our panel selects 13 to 15 artists each year. We ask that you use this money to support a new body of work to be premiered by DCA in an exhibition or showcase next year. That's 2020. Our exhibitions usually take place at Barnsdall Art Gallery, and our showcases usually take place at grant performances. If you're not selected for a fellowship, we are providing a Trailblazers program, and applicants may be recommended as a cultural trailblazer by our panelists. A Trailblazer will receive a small stipend, and they're usually featured on our website and our social media platforms. So who's eligible to apply? Artists who reside in the County of Los Angeles. You must be the primary creator of your work. Applicants should also have a minimum of 15 years of experience presenting their work to the public. And if you're a choreographer dancer, because of the nature of the career, choreographers are allowed to apply with 8 or more years of experience. So what are fellowship funds used for? Well, that's super simple. The creation of new work. And as mentioned, that will be premiered at Barnsdall Art Gallery, or it's better known as the Los Angeles Municipal Art Gallery, or at grant performances. What can these funds support? So I guess the question is who's not eligible. And the artists who don't live in LA County are not eligible for this opportunity. Artists who don't have 15 years of experience or 8 years of experience for dancers. Former COLA fellows. Students, unfortunately, can't apply. And if this is your side gig, like your triple side gig, unfortunately, you're not eligible. We want serious artists to apply for this opportunity. Individuals who create work to be presented as a group project are not eligible for this opportunity, and projects that pay DCA employees or commissioners are not eligible either. So how does our fellowship review process work? DCA uses a peer panel to review the process and score and rank proposals. Proposals are scored on 2 criteria. First is excellence, which is a max of 80 points, and then it's creativity and innovation with a max of 20 points. As staff, Chris and I have nothing to do with your scores. Our job is to audit applications and facilitate the panel review process. So once you apply, you won't hear from us until a year later, in May or June of 2019. So what do you find in the application? Well, first, there's a cover sheet requesting information, contact information, first your name, your email, address, website. Then we want to see an artist statement so that we can learn more about your craft and the work that you do. And we want to know about your potential project. We also want to see a resume exhibiting 15 years or more of experience, and this is key. If we don't see the 15 years, then you're not eligible. We also look for an artistic work sample, which may be video or photos or audio. And we also look for supplemental material, and we specifically look for letters of support or critical reviews. And at the end of the application, we do have 2 additional forms. We ask for a few numbers, a few metrics, and then, of course, it's a survey where you can evaluate the actual application process. So how do you access the application? So our grants program is on dca-fluidreview.com.
I see a typo there. It should be, we don't want people to get lost. It's dca-la.fluidreview.com. We'll make sure the link is correct on our guidelines, because that's what you'll actually be clicking on to get to the application.
Yeah, thanks for catching that, Chris. It's actually correct in the guidelines, and it should be, you'll see this link sprinkled throughout our website, and it should be correct. So yes, don't jot this one down. But our grants program is called Fluid Review. So you'll visit that website. You'll then fill out online forms and submit your application electronically. It's due on Friday, October 26th at 11:59 p.m. So you have all day on Friday to work on your application. We do also require that you submit a hard copy of your application, and that hard copy should be postmarked by Wednesday, October 31st. You also have the option of dropping off your application if you'd like. And just a heads up that we are in a busy part of downtown LA. Parking is limited. We don't validate parking, unfortunately. So just a little heads up if you're thinking of dropping it off. So let's go on to the next slide. If you have any questions regarding this opportunity, feel free to email staff, or you can call our office at 213-202-5566. I'm going to walk you through accessing the guidelines next. So I'm going to actually visit our agency's website, which is culturela.org. So you're going to want to start here. You're going to hover over programs and click on grants and calls. And here you see all the opportunities we have available via DCA. You're going to want to scroll down to the end and click on COLA Individual Artist Fellowship. So here you have a brief overview of the application or the opportunity, but what you really want to check out is the guidelines. So here's the link to the guidelines. You click there, and then here we are. You can find more information about the framework, eligibility, the grant amount, timeline, panel review, more information about webinars and workshops, in-person workshops. Here you find more information about applying and submitting a proposal. As you can see, here's the correct link. So this is the link you should be jotting down. And then, of course, if you have any questions again, here's our contact information. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chris, and he'll walk you through the application.
All right, thank you for that, Alma.
You're welcome.
So we're looking at the application itself now. Let's go back to applying. Once you click on this link, it'll take you to fluidreview.com, and there's a place. If you're new to it, you'll need to register. If you're and create a username and password. If you're not new to it, you of course don't need to do that again. If you don't remember your password, you can do a password reset. And once you get in, the very first thing that you'll need to do is make sure that your profile information is complete. This will be the first task. The system won't allow you to move forward unless this is done. So if you've done it before, you're good to go. If you're new to the system, it's fairly quick. If you look at the profile information, it'll essentially be your legal name, your professional name, phone numbers for yourself, your email address, your website, And then there are two items here that are they're city numbers. They're provided by the city, the BAVN ID number and BTRC number. If you don't have them, don't worry, leave the fields blank. These numbers will be needed only if you do get recommended for a grant and we have to create a grant contract for you. The other two items in the profile will be your mailing address and your physical address. Once you've completed the profile, you'll be able to see this page here. It'll show that the profile information is complete. And if you've applied for grants before, you'll see a listing of previous grants that you've applied for. And you want to scroll down to the bottom. You want to click on View Grants. And this will show the active grant programs for which you can create a proposal for. Right now, Cultural Affairs has two grant programs, the Artist in Residence Grant Program and the Cola Master Artist Fellowship Program. As you can see, I've already created a submission for both applications. You're only allowed to do one for each program. If you're ambitious enough, you can submit a proposal for both programs. Just keep in mind the requirements needed for both. So it does take time and effort for both programs. You just have to be very, very certain you want to take on the responsibility of both if you're applying for both. So you will see a button here that says Create Submission. If you click on that, that'll take you right into the application form and give you this message the next time you return to here. I'm going to return to the previous page. And to return to your submission, you can click on Edit, or you can actually click on the unique identifier number for your application, which will be GA dash followed by 10 digits. Let's do that right now. This is what I call the task list. It will contain all the items that you need to complete in order to submit an official proposal for the Cola Master Artist Fellowship Program. So the first item is the application form. The application form, the first section will be auto-filled from the profile that you've completed. This will basically be your name, professional name, and contact information all over again. And the first new thing that you'll need to click on is you'll need to identify which artistic discipline that you will be that your work is in. We have different panels. One panel reviews visual and design artists. Then we have another panel that reviews literary and performing artists. Of course, this may change depending on the number of applications we receive. If we receive large numbers of literary artist applications and large number of performing artist applications, we may have separate panels for those as well. The next thing that we want you to select is to identify where you live. This is to verify that you meet one of our eligibility requirements, which is that you must be a resident of the County of Los Angeles with a live or work relationship with the City of LA. If you live in the City of LA, you just need to click the number of your council district that you live in. And if you're not certain which council district you live in, we have a handy app here, which is actually part of the City of LA website. You click on neighborhood info, it gives you this page. Then you can type in an address, and it'll tell you which council district that address is in. And Beethoven Street is in Council District 11, right here. Let's go back to the application form. If you live outside the City of LA, but within the County of Los Angeles, then you will enter where you live here, whether or not it's incorporated or unincorporated. So if you live in Altadena, you can put that right there. So the next two questions, we have one question where we ask for a specialization within your field. So if you say, if you're a dancer choreographer, you could say I specialize in hip hop as a dance style, and that's where the primary or the bulk of your work is in. That's where you'd mention it there. And then the next box is to go into a little more detail about the style of your work. In the profile or the test application that I've created here, I've Captain J as a fiction writer who writes short fiction tales about the sea and seafaring experiences. And the writing style is postmodernist version of the famous Horatio Hornblower stories. At the bottom of this page, we have a signature section. And like all answers here, or like all boxes where there are answers that are needed, there's a clear button. The clear button is just for the section only. So if you've done the signature or you don't like the signature, you can always redo it by clicking clear. You get a blank line there, and you just start over with the signature. And this is where you're happy if you have a short name, a little bit discouraged if you have a long name. There we go. And then put a date for your signature, and you've completed the first page of the form. So here's where we get into navigating the forms. This is a 2-page form for the application. So at the bottom, there'll be buttons to go back and forth between the pages. These buttons, this says next page of form, and the second page will have previous page of form. These green buttons can only be clicked if the information is complete on this page. But if you haven't completed the information and you want to come back later, you should click on Save and Continue Editing. It'll take you to the top of the page, and you'll see up here this Go To section. You can bounce back and forth between the pages without entering data by clicking on these buttons here. So let's click number 2. It'll verify. It'll take you to the second page, and you can go back and forth. You'll see in the upper right-hand side here a back button. This isn't for navigating in the form. This will take you out of the form and back to the task list. So only click this button if you want to go back to the task list. And if you're going to click this button, make sure that you've saved whatever information you've entered before doing so. The second page is the narrative section for your proposal. And this is, we've got a word limit of 900 words for the first question and a smaller amount for the second question. This is built upon our hard copy proposal, which had a limit of 2 pages. So the approximate narrative will be 2 pages in length, with question 1 being about 1.5 pages and question 2 being about 0.5 page. So for the first question, we want you to provide an introductory text or about yourself or an artist statement or writing about your artistic practice. Anything that will give a reviewer of your proposal, likely someone who doesn't know you well, that gives you an insight to you as an artist and the work that you do. The second narrative question will be, this is where you describe the project that you're proposing to do should you be recommended for a COLA Master Artist Fellowship. Now bear in mind the scoring, which we saw briefly on one of our previous slides. The scoring is 80% based upon your prior experience. So that's judged upon your resume and your artistic work samples and your supplemental items. 20% of your proposal may be based upon your proposed project. This only comes into play when the panel has selected a group of finalists or semi-finalists, and they need to pick the finalist for the COLA Fellowship. Sometimes they go to the proposal to break a tie between one or more artists to determine who is the person that gets pushed above the line and get recommended for a fellowship. So that's the narrative. The next section that we have is to upload your resume. This could be your resume or CV. And only one document can be uploaded there. The next section is the artistic work samples. And for those who've applied before, this will be slightly different and hopefully more intuitive and less confusing. I'm going to delete what I have there. And we can look at it from fresh eyes. So once you're starting a proposal, all the boxes will have, or all the tasks will have incomplete, and they will have a start button. Starting the button will open up that particular task. For artistic documentation, we are allowing each applicant to submit either 3 links or 5 to 10 images. Let's start with the links to show what that looks like. You need to indicate how many links that you'll attach. I'm going to say 2. And that'll pop up however many links that you've requested. You'll get an equal number of boxes where you can put in the link itself and the description of the link. Links can be to video footage, they can be to photo galleries, they can be to audio tracks. The link should be of your work only, to reduce any sort of confusion. If you have video footage as your link or an audio track where it's more than 5 minutes long, we do recommend that you indicate in the description which particular section of the video or audio track that you really want the reviewers to pay attention to. That way, you direct them to what you think is best rather than hoping that they will discover what it is you want to find out about them. Let's go back, show you the images. So if you choose to do 5 to 10 images, you'll again be given an option of how many that you want to attach. Let's say 7. And for each image, you'll be given the standard choose a file button to pick the image that you want to upload. And then you put your caption right here. And you do that for each of the images. Once you've got all the images uploaded and you've got the captions in there, click Save and Exit, and you're back to the task list. The supplemental items would be very similar. Let's go back. This would be very similar to the artistic work samples task. So for supplemental items, you can attach up to 3 items total. And for supplemental items, the strongest supplemental items are outside voices that express or display or support the strength of your work. So letters of recommendation, letters of support, critical reviews, or articles, in print or online. These are all excellent supplemental items and add to the strength of your application. I did receive a question not too long ago regarding supplemental items. A person had done a solo exhibition, had a rather lengthy catalog. In such a situation as that, it's best to have a digital version of the catalog as opposed to submitting the actual catalog. So if you find yourself in that situation, do your best to get a digital version of a catalog that you can attach to the proposal as opposed to sending in actual physical catalogs. The last item is a survey, and this survey is not seen by the panel. This is a survey that we use to find out what works well with your application, what needs improvement. So we are depending on you to be honest, to let us know what we can do to make the application's experience better and more intuitive. So please be honest. We do use this information to update the application from year to year. Once you've completed all the tasks, there are 2 submissions that you need to do. You need to do a digital submission and you need to do a hard copy submission. I recommend that you prepare for the hard copy submission first, then you do the digital submission. To do the hard copy submission, scroll up to the top of the page. On the right-hand side, you'll see this button here, Download Submission. By clicking on that button, you will generate and download a zipped folder of items. Each element that you've uploaded will be downloaded again, and then there will be one aggregated PDF, which will have all the elements of your proposal in one PDF document. It'll have this title, GA dash followed by 10 digits. That's the hard copy that we want you to print up. And bear in mind, this is a file copy only, so it doesn't need to be in color. And if it is lengthy, we want you to help save the trees or reduce our impact on the trees and print it double-sided. So just remember black and white and double-sided whenever possible. That'll be your hard copy submission. And to do your digital submission, all you need to do is click this button right here. It'll verify, like, are you sure you're ready to submit? And then click OK again, and that'll be your digital submission. Just as a reminder, the digital submission is due by October 26th, and the hard copy submission needs to be postmarked or hand-delivered by October 31st. That completes the review of the application form. If you have any questions following this webinar, our contact information is on our website here. Go to Contact. And as Alma had shown you before, we have our phone number and our email address, and we're happy to answer any other questions that come up or provide assistance in using the application form or system. I think that completes our webinar. Do you have anything to add, Alma? Or?
No, I think that's it. Just a reminder, call us with any questions. I promise that you'll get a person on the other line. And if you don't get an answer, our staff will definitely call you back.
Best of luck with your proposal.
Goodbye.